the players of the week this week. And we will, as always, start with our SGU MVP of the week. I know we had some great discussion in our group chat about MVP of the week, but then some stat changes came in late Sunday night. It always seems to come in late, but we decided to end up going with Melville Millionaires captain Zach Kane. 3 goals, 5 assists. I know the team only went 1-3, but talk about an amazing performance, not only this week, but also last week for Zach Kane of the Melville Millionaires.
Yeah, we talked about Melville maybe needing a little bit of secondary scoring to get them, over up into the top half of the league. But if they get Zach Kane performances like this, maybe they don't. Because he's first place now in the SJHL in scoring. And I know they only won 1 game, but this is a guy that he does everything for the Melville Millionaires. Their captain, 8 points in 4 games. That's enough to earn MVP, even though they won just 1 game. Yeah. We talked about how hard that stretch is, and Kane was everything they needed to get at least 2 points out of it.
100%. Moving on to our Direct West Rookie of the Week, and it's our first repeat winner of the year, actually, guys, and that is defenseman Karsten Kater of the Humboldt Broncos. And I think, obviously, Rory, you can speak to it, but he was great all week, but I think he was really good in that win over the Battleford North Stars on Saturday. Yeah,
2 assists on the Broncos' second goal of the game on the power play, and then the overtime winner. You can watch the intelligence already by the 16-year-old on that overtime play. He slows down in the blue line, brings Jordan Gibbs with him, then finds Ceccarelli on the far side. So, not a lot of huge, crazy standout rookies this week, but to beat the Battleford North Stars, you need everyone on the ice and everyone playing their best. Karsten Kater was one of his best games throughout that weekend set, so deserving, I think, of it.
Yeah, Jamie, thoughts?
Yeah. I just said love the highlight. The D1 commits. Nebraska Omaha is getting a good one. I think everybody around the SJ who's seen Karsten play knows that already. And last thing I'll say is you see the trust that Scott Barney has in Kater already to put him out in overtime against the Battleford North Stars. Like, the best team in the league, probably maybe the best team in junior hockey in Canada, debatable depending on what you think of the SJHL rankings. But to put him out there in overtime shows a lot to me.
It sure does. Moving on to our defenseman of the week, and we end up going with Connor Abrick of the Larange Ice Wolves. 1 goal, 2 assists. You guys mentioned earlier, obviously, he's really stepped up his game this year for Larange.
Yeah. I think it's taken some time for Connor to adjust to this level. Came out of high school hockey, I believe, in Wisconsin, but he's figured it out. Rory touched on it right there, trying to replace McKillen Couture at the top of that, that 1-3-1 power play that Larange usually plays. Scored against Melville, got a couple points. And with the way that the forward core for Larange is going, if they can get anything offensive from their D core, it's a real bonus. And Abrick's been that. He's big boy too, physical, tough down low in his own zone, hard to play against. So, he's kind of a perfect fit right now for Kevin Kaminsky's system.
And finally, you teased it earlier, Jamie. But I think we have. The reason why I saved this one for last, because I think this one, for me at least, we talk about storylines in hockey, and for me, this is kind of the story of the week. And the announcement of SaskTel goalie of the week is Bernie Weston of the Weyburn Red Wings, the 2007, makes me feel old, 2007 born netminder, stopping 29 out of 30 saves on a Friday night win for the Weyburn Red Wings, winning 4-1. It's a tough spot to make your SJHL debut, but what a performance by the youngster.
And the shots were 24-9 Nipawin after 40 minutes, too. Like, it wasn't like he was, eased into the SJHL.
No,
he was jumped right in, and he's not a big boy either, but he moves so well. And, being a 2007 birth year, Cody Mapes is really excited for a couple of reasons. Obviously the talent, but another element is that he's a pretty highly thought of prospect for the Swift Current Broncos in the dub, but the Swift Current Broncos have a lot of young goalies in their system that are maybe a little bit ahead of him. So it's actually an interesting situation. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Weyburn Red Wing moving forward. And the last thing I'll say about it is that we would be remiss if we didn't mention that Kelton Pine did kind of the same thing last year with the Melville Millionaires when he was called up. Thought maybe he'd start the year in Regina, and he did this year and whatever, but he came in and had a shutout for Melville last year, sort of the same situation as a young kid. But Bernie Weston, man, very impressive, and again, a tough rink to make your debut in.
Yeah, and I just want to, obviously congratulate him, but how thrilling must it be First ever game, 15-year-old. I can't imagine the nerves he has, right? And then to stop, 29 of 30, you said? Incredible performance. And it's a huge win, too, because you look at the Hawks and the Weyburn Red Wings, they're neck and neck, right? No one is dismissing the fact that these wins right now are going to be important come playoff time, especially for these teams that are going to be floating around that 7 and 8 line. So 15-year-old comes in, picks up the win. Yeah, that's got to be exciting for him and his family.
Well, could you imagine, fast forward from now, 4 months or so,
if
playoff
by
time.
2?
If they're in by a point or two, you will look at that game, Bernie Weston coming in for the Weyburn Red Wings, and as being one of the big reasons why they potentially make the playoffs. Which is a crazy storyline to think about, but you love to see it. You love to see young hockey players succeed in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, and of course, you mentioned currently playing with the Swift Current Legionnaires of the U18 League in Saskatchewan. So to recap it all, SGU MVP of the week, Zach Kane with 3 goals, 5 assists. The Direct West Rookie of the week, Karsten Cater of the Humboldt Broncos with 2 assists. SaskTel Goalie of the week is Bernie Weston with his outstanding performance Friday night against the Nipawin Hawks. And then Defenseman of the week, Connor Abrook of the Laurent Ice Wolves with a goal and 2 assists. You can read the full article for Players of the Week up at sjhl.ca.